Governments constantly tell you they are working to secure your future. They promise stability, they promise growth, they promise opportunity. But history tells a very different story. If you actually study how governments have handled money over centuries, you'll notice a disturbing pattern. The same financial tricks are used again and again to keep ordinary people struggling, while wealth and power quietly move upward. These tricks are not accidents. They are not mistakes. They are deliberate systems, refined over hundreds of years. And the most shocking part? Most people never even realize they're part of it. Let's start with the simplest and oldest trick. Inflation. Whenever a government spends more money than it collects in taxes, it faces a problem. It can either raise taxes openly, which makes voters angry, or it can quietly reduce the value of money itself. History shows which option governments prefer. Ancient Rome perfected this method. In the 3rd century, Roman emperors needed massive funds to pay armies and defend borders. Instead of taxing citizens directly, they reduced the silver content in their coins. The coin looked the same, the stamp was the same, but its value was quietly stolen. Prices rose, savings disappeared, wages failed to keep up. It was a hidden tax, one people didn't fully understand until it was too late. Modern governments do the same thing today. The only difference is that now inflation is managed by central banks instead of emperors. During the Middle Ages, governments used another clever trick: forced loans. Kings across Europe pressured merchants and wealthy citizens to lend money to the crown. Refusing wasn't really an option. If you said no, you faced penalties, confiscation, or prison. Sometimes repayment was promised. Often it arrived late, or in devalued currency, or not at all. This system allowed governments to fund wars and luxury while shifting the risk onto citizens. Patriotism was the excuse. Coercion was the reality. By the 17th century, financial systems themselves became the trick. When the Bank of England was created, it wasn't to help ordinary people. It was created so the government could borrow large sums to fight wars. Wealthy investors bought government bonds. They received guaranteed interest. Who paid for that interest? The public, through taxes on everyday goods. The rich lent money and earned safely. The poor paid higher prices to fund those returns. This system still exists today. Government debt is considered one of the safest investments in the world because it's backed by the labor of the population. Fast forward to modern times. Governments run massive deficits. They borrow trillions, claiming it's for jobs, development, and public welfare. But much of that money ends up in corporate bailouts, defense contracts, and financial institutions. When repayment becomes a problem, governments rarely cut spending at the top. Instead, they raise taxes, inflate the currency, or reduce benefits. The 2008 financial crisis exposed this clearly. Banks made reckless bets, the system collapsed, and taxpayers were forced to save it. The result? Banks became even larger. Ordinary people paid the bill. Government retirement systems work the same way. People contribute for decades, trusting the money will be there later. But in reality, most governments spend that money immediately. What remains is a promise that future taxpayers will cover the cost. As populations age, the system breaks. Benefits shrink. Retirement ages rise. Inflation reduces real payouts. The promise remains. The value disappears. After 2008, central banks introduced massive money creation programs. Trillions were printed digitally. Markets were saved. But asset prices exploded. Stocks, real estate, and bonds soared. Who owns those assets? The wealthy. For everyone else, living costs increased while wages lagged behind. Another trick is complexity. Tax codes with thousands of pages, budgets filled with jargon, financial products few people understand. Confusion becomes protection for those in power. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it rhymes. The same financial tricks used in Rome are still draining wealth today, just hidden behind modern language. Inflation is not accidental. Debt is not neutral. Bailouts are not generosity. They are tools. If you understand economic history, you're harder to manipulate. If this changed how you see money and power, subscribe. History reveals what headlines